Hello and welcome to the medbants podcast. This is our first episode and I'll be your host through the series of this podcast. My name is Dr. Chinedu Onua and I'm a medical doctor, intern in Federal Medical Center, Yenagoa. With me here is my first guest, Dr. Somadila Anastasia Igbanugu. Hello Anna, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, let me introduce you properly. Dr. Anna here is a medical doctor who finished from Rostov State Medical University, Russia, which happens to be my alma mater too. As the best graduating student with a GPA of 4.99, almost perfect. She was she was
Hmm.
she was
Sorry,
employed.
let me
Wait,
5 points.
okay, 5.0. Okay,
Yeah.
she was employed as a cardiologist in People's Friendship University, Moscow, 2023, for which she spent 6 months there.
Mm,
She's also a YouTuber, writer, and singer. And ultimately, she's my friend. Did I do justice to that introduction, Anna?
yeah, did good. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm honored.
yeah. So, Anna, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Actually, I've been in the holiday mood ever
Holiday
since.
mood. Wow, that's nice. How are you finding Nigeria so far?
To be honest, Nigeria is okay if you have your family, people to talk to.
Yeah. Um,
Economy
how
is
do you
not
find
so,
the economy and everything? The
yeah,
economy.
economy is not is not at its best state, but we are hoping and praying that things will get better.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
find the weather compared to the one in Russia?
Well, it's obvious. Nigeria is hot.
Yeah, the Hamatan over there where you're staying was it severe?
Okay, I was in Abuja initially. The harmattan in Abuja is actually severe. But when I
Okay.
came east, like Owerri, Port Harcourt,
Hmm.
the harmattan less. Like it's not as severe as the one in Abuja.
Okay, okay. Nice. All right, let's
Yeah.
start the podcast officially. I'll be asking you some questions. Okay, so Dr. Anna, uh, you
Yeah.
you you schooled in Nigeria before getting a scholarship to school in Russia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what were your expectations before schooling in Russia? Or before going
Um,
to school in Russia?
Honestly, I didn't have much expectation. All I knew was that I'm going to Russia and I'm going to study among whites.
Mm,
And I was thinking their system of learning is going to be the same as the one in Nigeria. But when I got to Russia, I realized that it's different in the
okay.
sense that, in the sense that they don't jam pack students in one class as we do here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
In Russia, we have groups. Let's say let's say level 100 will have about 10 groups, unlike in Nigeria where everybody is in one class, there is no group, just one group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And the comparisons you have already started it. Comparisons to between schooling in Russia and Nigeria. What did you find surprising? What did you find interesting in schooling in Russia compared to schooling in Nigeria? How was the teachers in Russia and Nigeria, their relationship with the students and everything?
Okay, when I was studying in Nigeria, I
Mm,
don't think I'm close to any teacher. This is because in a class where you have a student of about 200
yeah.
and then you have one teacher or one lecturer lecturing all of them,
Wow.
to be very hard to be very hard for each of that student to form a relationship with the lecturer.
Yeah.
Even the lecturer will not be able to do it. Like, how can you form a relationship with 200 students? It's not
Yes.
possible.
That's not possible. And
Yeah. But in Russia, because we were divided into groups, let's say 20 students in a class,
mm-hmm.
at least you get to at least ask questions to the lecturer. You can approach the lecturer. So
Yes.
I really found it better. I will not say it's a surprise, but I just found it better than what I was used to, in the sense that I was not able to talk to lecturers. I could ask questions and
Mm-hmm. You
I
could
know that,
you could assess them
yeah,
easily.
exactly. I could assess them.
Yeah. Eh, Um, so did schooling in Nigeria have its own benefits? Yeah, you have said the disadvantage. Any advantages of schooling in Nigeria?
Yeah, of course, there are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as a person that is schooling in Nigeria, because it's your country,
Mm-hmm.
you can be able to join all these university leadership, like the one they call SUG. I don't know the full meaning, but
Okay.
there is this SUG for students. I think student union something. That's what they call it. So
Mm.
you can be a leader in that kind of environment. You
Yeah.
can be a leader. You can even have access to some high personnels.
Yes.
But when Russia, I was not able to do that. Even to be ordinary course rep, I couldn't do it
Yeah.
because
It.
they would pick a Russian first before
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
No, if peradventure you want to apply for, let's say, higher programs, let's say masters, or you are even applying for residency in another country or even in Nigeria to say,
Mm.
when you mention that you are a leader in the university, it's going to be a boost on your CV.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, studying in Nigeria gives that kind of leverage. At least you can be a leader. You can be bold enough to start up something within the school.
Yes.
But in another country, because it's not your country, you might not have that boldness to
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
that.
You'll be involved. You'll be involved more in your own country. And
Yeah.
yeah. Can you hear me?
So of course I'm hearing you very
Okay.
well.
Continue.
So, like somebody like me, I love these leadership positions,
Mm.
let, whereby you are the cost rep. That's in Russia, they call it starasta.
Yes.
Whereby you are the,
Understand.
if let's say I was a Russian, I would have loved to go for that position of starasta.
Yeah.
But because I knew that they were not going to pick me, so I did not even try.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there are other areas where you could be starasta, like foreign student starasta. Why didn't you go for it?
Because that one is just it's within the foreign students. I don't know. I just felt like if it was a mixture of both Russians and foreign students, it would carry more name, in the sense that lecturers would want to meet you and all of that. But if it were just for foreign students alone, you're only going to be interacting with
Mm.
mostly the foreign students. Lecturers might not need you for anything. So I didn't really see the need for it. And besides, we had this thing on the other side, although it's not involved in school, it doesn't have any linkage with universities, just on its own. This
Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another way that people can be involved in any leadership.
Okay. Yes.
Uh, yeah, but for me, I just feel like because it's not affiliated with the school, I wasn't that interested.
Okay.
And most of the things they do were outside the city. You
Mm.
have to travel to and through, and sometimes you might not have that time.
Yeah.
So I didn't go. Yeah.
Okay. That was interesting. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. So schooling in Russia, you managed to you not managed. You you broke the record of. I don't think any foreign student have ever had that GPA before. In Rostov State Medical University. You broke the record of having a 5.0 GPA, perfect GPA score as a student.
Yeah.
Anastasia,
Yeah.
how did you do that?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I never knew that I would graduate with first class, not to talk of 5.0 CGPA.
Mm-hmm.
All I knew, I wanted to be the best. I just wanted to be good at what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that now led me to graduating with first class and it's a 5.0. All I can say is that I was studying most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
My life was triangular life. Go to church, go to school, come back to the hostel. It was just few times I went out to visit my friends, watched movies,
Yeah.
do fun stuff. I'm not saying that anybody listening to me right now should do what I did. No, please live
Yeah.
your life because sometimes looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I should have done more fun things.
Oh, yeah.
I should have gone out more. I should have done many other things. But then it's in the past now.
Yeah.
So if I'm to go back now, I would have tried to balance studies and other aspects of my life better.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm not regretting because
Because
I
you
saw the
achieved your goal.
result. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was studying most of the time, and whenever I have any struggle in a subject, I try to meet senior colleagues. I ask them, okay, how were you able to overcome this subject? What did you do differently? Do you have any suggestion? How can I overcome this issue? Like anatomy was my very big problem when I was in first year, second year.
Okay.
Each time anatomy books are very big. Thank God you're a
Yeah.
doctor, so you're
Yeah, of course.
Anatomy books, they are so big. Whenever I open them, I just read and I sleep off, read and sleep off. I now became so afraid. I
Yeah.
don't want to fail. So I now met one girl. Her name is Chika. She
Yeah.
was too close to me that time. You might know her. So
Yeah.
I asked her she should watch YouTube videos. And after watching a YouTube video on a particular anatomy topic, then I can now go back to the book and read. So
Mm-hmm.
I tried it a couple of times and I saw myself understanding anatomy better. So I just continued with that tactics.
Yeah.
I just started watching videos and reading the book. And this is how I was able to, finish up
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
book and also I was able to write my exams and pass really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reading, asking questions, asking for help when I feel like I need it, and then asking questions in class as well. I
Mm-hmm.
think as students, you should not be afraid to ask your lecturers questions.
Yeah.
Let's say they are teaching and you don't understand it. You should ask question there and then. Don't wait till the next day when you might have forgotten what you wanted to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So ask. And another thing is don't wait. I didn't wait for exam to reach before I started studying. Immediately school started, I just started studying. Like I just followed the scheme of work, bomber to bomber, if that's the word.
Yeah, it's true.
I followed the scheme of work, and I also made notes. Ah, God, I think making notes saved my life in
Yeah,
Russia.
your notes were very comprehensive and they were almost like the textbook.
So making notes, they helped me. Medical books are big.
Yes,
Imagine opening a medical book to read it during exam period. I don't know if you'll be able to finish.
and that
So
yeah,
making helped a lot
yeah.
because during these classes you are making your notes. So by the time exam reaches, you know that you already have your notes ready.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is just revise. But
Yeah,
imagine someone that doesn't have a note. So that person will go and start reading textbook. And you know how big textbooks can be. The
yeah.
person will not finish before
Hon-
the
Honestly,
exam.
that is a very, 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 very important advice to the people that medical students like making notes is very, very important. Very, very
Yeah,
important. Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
yeah. So so you meant like you planned to get you did not plan to get a perfect score right from time or
I didn't plan. I just wanted to be among the best, but I
Hmm.
never knew being among the best would lead to me having a 5.0 CGPA. Yeah.
Yeah, so when did you actually decide that I'm going for it 5.0? When of course you are
Yeah,
getting fives in Russian, you are getting Piat before
yeah.
before you
Okay.
recognize that okay, let me actually go for the 5.0.
Yeah, I made that decision in my fourth year.
Fourth year?
In Yeah, it was in my first year that I was like, okay, since my first year I had all fives, that's Piat in
Hmm.
Russian.
Hmm.
I have all In my second year, I had all fives. In my third year, I had all fives.
Hmm.
And in fourth year, I was like, since I've passed these hard stages with fives, then this remaining fourth, fifth, and sixth levels or
Yeah.
course, and be able to maintain that five.
Yeah.
But I feel when I made that decision was now when it became harder.
When your
It
mind
became
wasn't on it was easier.
Yeah, when my mind was not on it, it was easier because I was like, okay, whatever the lecturer gives me, I'll take. You
Yeah.
get. But once I now made that decision that, oh, I want to complete with all fives throughout my stay in medical school, that's when it now became hard because I remember one exam like that. I answered everything that I knew that was in my head. And the
Which
lecturer
exam was that?
wanted, um, I think it was internal medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I answered everything, and the woman gave me four.
Hmm.
That's grade B. For people that don't know what is for
Yeah.
grade B, I was like, no, 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 no. I cannot allow these things. And that was our year actually when we were
Okay.
almost
Oh,
done.
I remember that
I can
incident.
exactly. I
Yeah.
cannot allow this thing
That was like
spoil my
almost final exams now, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can't allow these things spoil my record. I must do something about it. So I went back to the department. I told them that I want to rewrite the exam, and thank God they allowed me rewrite the exam.
Mm.
So when I did, I now got a five.
Wow.
Assuming I didn't fight for it, maybe I would have ended up with 4.99.
Okay. I was actually thinking you didn't write it too.
Oh,
Because
I did.
there was a time when they were not allowing you to rewrite or something like that, right?
Yeah, I had to fight for it though. Because
Mm.
it's not as if I didn't answer well. I did, but that woman just wanted to spoil my results for me. Although it's not a bad score, but
Yeah.
now when your mind is made up on something, you just want to achieve it.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that was what happened. Yeah.
I think you have already given the advice to the next individual that wants to attain the same feat, right? To make notes, to read, and set,
To ask questions, to ask for help.
yeah, ask for help. Is there anything you want to add again?
I can say that it's better to pay now, pay now and play tomorrow. In the
Mm.
sense that
Mm.
now that you are a student, you should give 80% of your time.
Yeah.
I don't want to say 100% because I know that life shouldn't be all about books. Other aspect of your life shouldn't suffer just because you are a student.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, but as a student, you should give 80% of your time to your studies if you really want to come out with first class or second class upper. Give 80% of your time to studies. Avoid unnecessary hangouts. Avoid unnecessary activities like clubbing,
Mm.
going out to parts, like too much partying and all of that.
Okay,
No.
too much party. Okay.
But
Yeah,
of course, make out time to visit your
yeah,
friends. Make out
yeah.
Socialization is actually important because you don't know
Mhm.
who will connect you tomorrow. You get
Yeah.
to a very high position.
Okay.
So socialization is important. Make out time for your friend. Make out time to go and play basketball if that is what you enjoy. Make out time to go and play tennis. Make out time to read storybooks,
Yeah.
novels, watch movies, anything that you enjoy. Even going to the gym if that's what you like. Make out time for these things. Make
Yeah.
out time for because it's God that will also help you in your studies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then after that, you were employed as a cardiologist in the People's Friendship University at 2022, on the year 2023. So how did you find working as a cardiologist there? Were you also doing masters there? Can you hear me now?
Sorry. Please, can you repeat the question?
I said, okay, in the year
Yeah, I can hear you.
2023, you are employed as a cardiologist in the People's Friendship University, Russia, for which you worked 6 months there before coming back to Nigeria to write some exams. So,
Yeah.
did you how did you find working in as a cardiologist in Russia? And were you also doing masters at that same period or something like that?
Okay. I wouldn't really call it an employment. I would call it a residency.
Yeah.
So it's a residency program. I was not employed. But
Okay.
of course, they see you as a doctor there because you're attending to patients. It's almost like you're employed. The only difference is that you
Okay, Anna, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I'm sorry, I think my internet is bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was saying it's a residency program where you get to you get to handle a lot of patients, attend to a lot of patients, and at the same time, the senior doctors are teaching you, they are putting you through a
Yeah.
lot of things that you're supposed to do. So while I was there, I attended to patients. I
Mm,
was checking their blood pressure, their pulse. I was performing general physical examination on them, like checking their heartbeats, checking for murmurs in their heart. I was
okay.
also checking for edema of the leg, edema of the sacrum. I
Mm,
checked for a lot of things, and then I prescribed drugs under supervision, of course.
okay.
And
You are also reading ECGs, right?
yeah. I was reading ECGs as well.
Okay.
I was reading ECGs.
Mm,
I performed a number of things there. I enjoyed my stay there. The only thing that I did not enjoy so much was the writing of histories, in the
mm,
sense that you have to write it in Russian language.
yeah.
Even I speak Russian and I write Russian, I know that it won't be as good as a Russian.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing history, sometimes I'll have to check my translator for some words.
Yeah.
And I'll have to make sure that it's well written. It's just like the way you are checking for grammars in your English essays.
Yeah.
That's the same as writing it in Russian language as well. But initially, I didn't like that writing aspect of it. But
Okay.
with time it got better. I started enjoying it.
Mm. So, did you learn anything new in comparison to working in Nigeria and working in Russia?
At the moment, I haven't resumed working in Nigeria. This is
Okay.
because I just got my Nigerian license
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to resume work as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. While you are at Russia, did you have any challenges at all? Like in general, schooling and working? You said about the language issue. What other challenges? Oh,
Okay, my biggest challenge was the language in the beginning, of course.
yeah.
In the beginning, when I was still in year one,
Yeah.
part five, year one, year two, it was really difficult because most of my reading there was reading and translating, reading and translating. Like
Yeah.
I can't read two lines without translating a word. So it
Yeah.
was really
It,
difficult.
it happened to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God you schooled in Russia, so
Hmm.
you have an experience.
Yeah.
The second one is the food. I missed our Nigerian dish.
Really?
Of
But
course.
you are always cooking your Nigerian dish now. Ah,
I will not really call that thing cooking Nigerian dish. You know the spice they use there is not the spice we
yeah.
actually use
Yeah.
here. So the taste is not the same because it's not the same spice. And also the soup, there was no Nigerian soup there. And even if you are to get some, it's either you get from people that went to Nigeria and came back, and the quantity you can get are limited.
Yeah.
Then, or you go to Moscow to buy some, but then Moscow is very far from Rostov.
Mm.
So it's almost like you are not even eating Nigerian dishes at all at all. So I missed it. I missed my family, my friends,
No, you are
people
homesick.
with yeah.
Mm. Oh, you miss your family
Yeah,
and friends. Mm.
yeah. And sometimes I just felt like I was not understood in Russia. That's
Mm.
how I felt. It was not all the time, more, but sometimes I just felt that way.
Yeah, you made friends, of course, in Russia, right? Like a lot of Russian friends.
It was just Marshall. Marsha, that
Really?
was my friend. And then she left the group. When she left, I was like, oh my God, the only Russian friend I have.
No, but yeah, Lazarus and let's not mention names, but they made friends now.
And Ira, will I say they are my friends? They were just, okay, yeah, they're my friends, kind of, in the sense that I asked them a lot of questions,
Yeah,
especially Lazarus. I asked Lazarus a lot of questions when it comes to, the academical aspect. Then Ira was more of the more of the star role she was doing then. She's the one that has access to the lecturers. So
yeah,
if you want better information, you have to ask her, okay, what these lecturers say, what are we supposed to do? In all of this. Yeah, another thing I wanted to say is that if you want to graduate with a good CGPA, you
yeah,
should be close to you should be close to these people that know to these people that know what is going on in the class. The
yeah.
person must not the person must not be so intelligent, but as long as that person is attentive in class,
Hmm.
or that person is a course rep, see these people, they are the ones that know what's up. So always be close to them and always try to ask them questions, because if you are well informed, you will know what to do at a particular time. Do you get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate you on your USMLE success and your MDCN success, which you achieved in 2023. For those who don't understand, she wrote three exams in 2023, and she wrote USMLE 1 and 2, step 1 and 2, and passed. And at the same time, wrote MDCN exams in 2023 and passed. So congratulations, Dr. Anna.
Thank you. But I want to make a little correction. All these exams were taken in 2024. Remember, we're in
Oh,
2025 now.
oh yeah. Jeez. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, 2024, yes. She wrote three
Yeah. Yeah.
exams in 2024, yeah. So,
Here for the compliment.
Dr. Anna, yeah. Dr. Anna, how difficult was it writing three exams in the same year? And what were your preparations on those exams?
It was difficult. I will not lie. It was very difficult. For USMLE step one, I started preparing for okay, let me just be very honest with everybody. That I'm brilliant does not mean that I have never failed an exam before.
Mm,
So I attempted USMLE step one in August 2023 and I failed.
mm,
And to be honest, that broke me into 100 folds
mm,
because my money involved. I had to put time to study, although I didn't study as much as I should, and I did not use all the necessary materials that I was supposed to use in my first time. And
mm,
I think that was what led to my failing. I wasn't well informed
yeah.
then, so I didn't read with the proper materials. I think that was why I failed. But after I failed, excuse me, after I failed, it took me some months to decide to write the exam again.
Mm-hmm.
So my next study I started around October 2023. So I studied for about 4 months, right? October, November,
Yeah.
December, January, February. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I studied for about 4 to 5 months because I wrote the exam in March. I wrote the exam on the 4th of March.
Yeah.
So I wrote it on the 4th of March, and when the results came out, I passed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God. And also I did something different differently in the sense that I bought UWord online.
Yeah.
I subscribed to UWord. Initially in my first attempt, the one I failed, I did not really have a UWord subscription. I was using an old PDF file.
Yeah.
I don't know the updates that might have happened.
Mm.
So I was reading old material in my first time.
Yeah.
So a lot of things led to that failure. But in my second attempt, I made sure I subscribed to UWord. I made sure I was using the latest materials. I
Mm-hmm.
made sure I read first aid book. I made sure I watched the Patoma video, chapter 1 to 3. I
Mm.
also made sure that I had a study partner,
Mm.
somebody that I taught, and the person also taught me in return. So
Yeah.
yeah, when I wrote the exam, I passed, and thank God. So
Yeah.
after it, I
Mm-hmm.
started my MDCN journey. MDCN is the Nigerian licensing exam.
Yeah.
So I started reading for it, hoping to write the exam in June.
Yeah.
So I started around April. So around April, I started going for the East Indies tutorial
Mm.
around April, hoping to write the exam in June. But when June came, the exam date um wasn't published. And
Mm.
I was like, there's no way I'll continue reading for MDCN. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been reading for it. There's no way I should keep on reading till September because they now brought out the exam date to be in September. And
Mm.
September is far.
Mm.
When you check from June to September is
Mm.
far. So what I did is I just subscribed to UWord
Yeah.
for step 2. So I started reading for step 2. I read that you would. I finished the 4,100 questions
Mm-hmm.
in 2 months. So I read it in June and I read it in July. By July, I finished. I read it over my U word. Then August, I now started revising for MDCN because September was getting closer. I started revising for MDCN. Then by September, I wrote the exam. Immediately after the exam, I switched back to reading for USMLE Step 2.
Wow.
So 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 I revised all the UWord questions that I failed initially. I revised them. Then I read CMS forms, some
Mm.
CMS form questions. I read MBME questions and answers. I reviewed all of them. Then I watched some videos here and there on YouTube. I also had a reading partner, which helped as well because having a serious reading partner can actually keep you on your toes. In the sense
Yeah.
that the day you don't reading, the person will be like, "Oh yeah, now come on, let us read,"
Yeah.
because you see the person is ready. You just get yourself ready.
Yeah.
So I did some assessments, and my scores were good. Like they were in 240s, 246, 245 thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I think I'm ready. So I went for the exam. I booked the exam in November
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote the exam in December. I think on the 17th of December,
Mm.
I wrote the exam. And by God's grace, when the result came out, I did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thank God that all this hard work paid. To be honest, it was not easy because during this period of my exams, I was practically studying,
Mm-hmm.
practically studying. Like it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I just felt like, why am I even doing all of these things? What's the reward? But
Yeah.
because I've already started, I just kept telling myself, you just have to try and finish.
Mm. You are,
Yeah.
but you are not getting, sometimes you are not getting motivated, but consistent is a key. Consistency,
Yeah.
not motivation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will take a break, just 1 minute break, then we'll be back. Uh,
All right.
okay. Okay, we are back. We were talking about her USMLE and MDCN journey. So Anna, did preparing for MDCN prepare you for writing USMLE, or the USMLE journey, did it prepare you for writing MDCN? Did it go vice versa? Did it help you in any way?
I would say that preparing for USMLE
Hmm.
made my CN preparation easier. You know that I wrote USMLE step one before MDCN.
Okay.
So yeah, writing USMLE step one helped me build a lot of knowledge and also remember a lot of things that I might have forgotten while I was in medical school.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I started reading for MDCN, it's helped me a lot in the MCQs in the MCQ section of the
Mm-hmm.
MDCN. Yeah. But for the picture test and the on all these other picture stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
did not you just have to go for that tutorial because it will help you. And what else? The OSCE part of the MCN, it was the tutorial that helped me. It wasn't the USMLE. But 100% USMLE helped in the MCQ aspect of my MCN. This is because tutorial centers will not really cover that much.
Mm-hmm.
So already you'll not really cover that much in the MCQ. So if you already had a prior knowledge, it's an added advantage to you.
Yeah.
Unlike somebody that have to open a lot of textbooks, read in order to remember some of the things he or she must have forgotten in medical school. Do you get?
Yes, yes. So,
Yeah.
what is your advice you give someone that wants to write external or internal exams like PLAB, MDCN, or USML?
My advice is that before you start reading for any external exam, you should do a thorough research. And
Yeah,
that's,
that's very important. Yeah.
yeah, do a thorough research. Ask people that have written the exam.
Mm.
The first is that you should find out the right material because you can be studying for the exam, but then you are using a wrong material
Yes, of
and
course.
go for the exam and you end up feeling like what happened in my
Yeah.
during my yeah. You wouldn't want that to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
So find material. There are so many materials for a particular exam. Find
Mm-hmm.
the one working for people and use that one that is working for people. If
Mm.
they tell you don't use the PDF format to go and subscribe online. Use the online format. Do it. My
Mm.
own is not used the right material. I used UWord though, quite
Yeah.
alright. And I now use old version of UWord,
Old
like
version, yes.
PDF that people screenshotted and made them into a book. That was what I used then. But if I had subscribed and read directly from the website, I would have been able to see the new concepts that they added. You get
Mm.
ask questions, ask for the material people are using, and if you are reading and you see that you are not understanding, please ask for help. Get
Okay.
help. If it means you going for a lesson or tutorial center, do it. If it
Mm.
means get online classes, do it. You
Mm.
wouldn't want to them twice. And another thing is get
You-
study partner,
A
even
reading
if
partner, yes.
even if it's one or two persons.
Mm.
Not just anyhow study partner. Get people that are serious. It's not people that today they will come, tomorrow they will not come. Get people that are very serious. People that you know that okay, their goal is to write this exam in 3 months' time, and
Mm.
they stuck to it, and they are reading, they are making progress. You too, you are reading, you are making progress. Yeah, get those kind of partners. People that have the same goal as you or similar goal as you, in the sense that maybe you want to write a match and that
Mm.
person wants to write in April. You see, the distance between March and April is not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get someone that has almost the same goal or similar goal as you.
And
Yeah.
also be have money. Money is very important.
Yeah. More, why did I even forget that part? Hey, most important part. Without money, you can't do anything about these exams,
Yeah,
honestly.
yes.
There are a lot of people that you know that if you tell them, oh, you're gonna write this exam, they will write it and they will do well. But
Mm.
because the money is not there, they can't do anything about it. So
Mm.
money is important. If you don't have a family that can sponsor you, it means that you have to work for a quite number of years in order to
Yeah. All right.
save up. Let's say
Yeah.
now step one is, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say now one is $1,195. That's a huge amount of money if you convert
Yeah.
it to naira.
Okay.
And people have that kind of money lying around their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, money is a very big, big, big factor
Mm.
to the final exams.
Yeah. So this is basically the advice for young aspirants. So you should take notes from Dr. Somadila Anastasia. Before we go, I would like to ask you, because you're also a YouTuber, singer in your spare time. You're a YouTuber, singer, and a writer.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start YouTube?
Okay, my inspiration is getting a scholarship actually.
Mm,
When I got a scholarship and I traveled to Russia to study, I was getting a lot of messages online. They were like, how did you get the scholarship? How did you do it?
mhm,
How were you able to get a lot of A's in your work? All these
mm,
kind of questions. So when I was getting this kind of question, I was like, I'm tired of responding to people one after the other.
yeah.
So I just, you know, gathered those questions, do a video about them. When somebody asks me the exact question, I'll just find that video and send to the person.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that lesson, yeah,
Your,
that lesson.
your YouTube is basically more about how to get people into scholarship programs and everything, right?
Yeah, my first YouTube channel was all about how to get a scholarship,
Mm,
but a Russian sanction affected it.
okay.
When my channel went down, I lost my monetization, I lost my views. People were reviewing my channel as they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I graduated from medical school. I felt like scholarship is not all I want to be talking about.
Yeah.
I want to delve more into the academic excellence. You
Mm,
know, telling people how to excel more in academics,
mm,
telling people possibilities of studying abroad and not just through scholarship you get.
mhm.
Some of the things that they can do to actually go abroad to study. I just felt like talking about scholarship alone was limiting my capabilities.
Yeah.
So, um, and also coupling to the fact the sanction happened in Russia, I just started to delete the channel and start all over again. So I started the channel all over again, still the same name, but a bit different from what it used to be.
Mm.
Like the niche is a bit different from what it used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you tell the listeners the name of your channel so that they,
Yeah. Edu Scholar Attainable is the name of my
yeah,
channel.
Edu Scholar Attainable is the name of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And
And
I also have a
yeah,
blog,
yeah,
a
you have a
website,
blog. Yeah.
www.eduscholarattainable.com.
Mm,
On this blog, I write a lot of stuffs like motivational articles,
mhm,
things that I feel like when people read, they can be motivated and they can do things that they feel like they couldn't do in the past, or they can find more reason to actually keep living, keep trying, and never to give up. Yeah. Also, on this blog, I talk about my services in the sense that I help. I'm an agent, an educational agent. I help
okay.
people apply for schools abroad.
Mm,
If you can pay for my services, of
mm,
course.
mhm.
But if you cannot, please don't come.
Yeah, very important. Yeah. Okay. Um, so what's the advice for people starting on the internet, like me, starting?
Well, my advice is that when you start, it might feel like, oh, nobody's watching me, nobody's listening to me.
Mm,
But keep doing what you're doing and just be consistent. One day people would notice you. One day they would want to hear more
Right.
about what you're saying or what your content is all about. And another thing is, let your content be something that can serve people.
Yes.
People being served. If your
Mm.
content that can serve me, I would want to listen to you over and over again. But if your content is something that I don't see any benefit, I don't see how it benefits me, I might just open it, listen to 1 or 2 minutes in it, and I'll just close it because it's not really benefiting me. Do you get?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
be
Well.
consistent and
Mm.
serve people. Yeah, let your content serve people.
Okay. Okay. So we're coming to the end of the podcast. So before we go, let me just ask you, what are your plans for 2025? The big 2025.
Next, I don't like talking about my plans. I like having it in my mind, and
Okay.
then once the result comes out, I'll not tell you, oh, I did so so and so.
Yeah. Uh,
And there is, but okay, in a nutshell,
yeah.
I just want to, I just want to go higher in my medical profession, and also I want to have more inspiration for my YouTube channel and my blog writing. I want to be able to reach out to more people through
Yeah.
my video, my articles. Yeah.
Okay.
S- The two most important things right now for me, going higher in my medical profession and reaching out to more people through my videos and my articles. I just want to be able to help people in little way that I can. Of course, not financially, but through word
Knowledge.
encouragement
Yeah.
and not, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Anna, for this wonderful podcast.
Thank you for,
You have been a very special guest to the podcast. Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Chinedu. I hope that you would invite me some other day.
Yeah, of course now. Yeah. All right. So that's the end of the podcast. Thank you everyone for listening and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.